This is episode 254 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dio Morales, and today I'm joined by Marcel One Ride Manzano.
So I kind of upgraded my traveling vehicular from situation from the Alpha that I had to a Puma tennis shoes. So yeah, no more carro. At least no more one of that carro.
We got Will, your stream captain, Higwood.
All right, we're setting sail, me mateys. So soon.
And Ryan, this is spring. This is the spring of deception, Staniszewski.
Yes, we just gone through some nice weather, and now it's going back down. It's all a lie. Deception's everywhere.
That's right.
We know this to be true in the Midwest.
Where that was going.
Yeah, everyone else is going to come up for Adepticon that's from like the South. It's going to be cold again. Probably. Who knows? You never know.
Roll the die. What scenario are you in? Are you in the fake winter?
Random weather after travels kind of situation.
There you go. Random weather after driving.
Love it. Well, friends, we are T minus 3 days from the start of Adepticon, maybe 2 when you're listening to this. If you're listening to this on the Tuesday after release, we're right there. Today's the first day of my spring break as a teacher. I spent the entire day working, getting things ready, freaking out, concerned, elated, so many emotions, but slowly creeping towards being ready. The funniest probably part of my day was me experimenting with these new like backdrop things that we got that are like super cool, getting it open and being like taking cool pictures of it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, and then realizing, basically struggling to close it alone because it's huge. It's 8 feet by 10 feet, and then realizing that I had one of the sides still on, so that's the reason why it wasn't closing. It came this close to like calling my wife and being like, I need help to get this closed. But anyway, it worked out because obviously I'm not still outside struggling with it, crying. But anyway, today on the podcast, we're going to talk about everything you need to know to have a successful trip at Adepticon. For those of you who are coming. And then for those of you who are not going to be at Adepticon, it gives you some insight into when going to a major event like this, something that's held at a convention or that has multiple moving pieces, some of the things that you might be expecting going into an event like that. I want to make sure that everybody is ready to go, so that we have as few confused people as possible. There will always be confused people, but we'll see what happens. Today's podcast is brought to you by our GSP patrons. I will tell you guys, oh my God, without the patrons, Adepticon doesn't happen. Because like I've told many people, we're not being paid to run Adepticon. It's 100% out of our pocket. Everything, the side prizes, staffing costs, materials, everything is us. So without you guys, literally, we wouldn't have been able to put this on. So thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you. If you want to become a patron, patreon.com/goldsquadron. Thank you so much. All right. I want to start today by just kind of giving people a checklist of what you need to do to prepare for the main event. And then Marcel, Ryan, and Will, I want you to kind of to help me fill in some of the gaps for some of the questions that I maybe have not thought of yet. I want to do that first. Then we're going to talk about how will the timer work at the event, because things are different, and how that's going to end up working for the stream, because there's going to be lots of people trying to game the system. Not quite, friends. Not quite. How to get ready for side events, and how to spend your prize tickets, because that's going to be a fun thing. So if you haven't checked out the document that has all of the base rules for Adepticon, you should do that. Okay, you should definitely do that. You know, check yourself before you wreck yourself at the event. So let's go ahead and just we're gonna scroll down. It's all very nicely laid out. What page do we need to go to? Page 9 to 11. Sweet. Let's go. All right. Before you get to the event, friends, the first thing you need to do is register yourself on tabletop.to. All right, this is open, ready for business right here. All right, all you have to do is log in and you'll register as a player so that you can find yourself on the player roster. Looks like right now we have had 93 people figure it out. Now, I'm not on the TO window right now, but you also need to, once you do that, get your list into oops, wrong tab. Where are we? Here we go. You also need to get yourself in your list into there as well. You make it in Yasby, Yasby.app, by the way, and paste it into there. And then at the event, you must have 2 paper copies of your list as well from Yasby. So you go to your Yasby, you make your lists. What's a terrible list we can make here real quick? Here we go. As many. There you go. 4 Arc 170s with 0 upgrades. Obviously, you have real list. You're going to go to print. You're going to go to simple. And then you're going to print it out. All right? And how many copies do I need, Dion? You need 2 copies, okay? You're also going to need your name on here somewhere. You could easily do it by putting it in the Squadron name box, or just write it in pencil, or pen, whatever floats your boat. But I will tell you, somebody said, well, what are you going to do if I don't bring pieces of paper? Well, then you can pay me $2 a copy to print out your list for you. And I'm 100% serious. $2 a copy. If you're going to waste my time, $2 a copy. Cool. Thanks. Bring your own pieces of paper. And why do I need 2, Dion? Well, we need 1 for a paper record that we're going to have people sorting through to be able to do quick list checks and things like that. We have the 1 online to be able to compare it. That way, if you bring in different lists, we can disqualify you. Not really going for that, but you understand what we're saying. We're checking your lists. And the 3rd copy, of course, being so that you can give it to your opponent. All right? Everything you need. If you want to bring a 4th and a 5th copy, just in case you lose one, if you're accident prone, that's fine too. But make sure you guys got your stuff.
Okay.
Any questions about that?
2 paper copies, and you just said 3.
I was making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
3. If you bring 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, you'll be fine. Minimum 2 paper copies. All right. To be honest, for some people, the $2 may be more convenient. We're upping it to $5. All right? Listen, basically the cost goes up as more people keep forgetting. We're just going to be on a sliding scale. All right? We'll have it. And I don't want your handwritten lists. It needs to be printed out. Just letting you know. We're not accepting handwritten lists. It needs to be printed out. Thank you. I know that seems really picky, but I don't want to deal with your I don't want to deal with your chicken scratch. I love you. Okay? So then, at the event, man, some people are going to be thinking like, wow, Dion's being a real jerk right now. Listen, getting it right from the beginning avoids so many, it allows the weekend to be peachy keen. We're going to have a great weekend as long as you follow the instructions. Thank you. And then when you check in, we're just going to verify that you have your ticket. You're going to give 1 paper copy of your list to the person checking you in, and you're going to show the other one, being like, "Hey, look, I have 2." All right, you're going to get your scenario tokens. We're going to give you your range 1.5 ruler, and then you're going to go hang out until we do our attendance pairings, and then you're good to go. All right, that's the check-in process. Any questions there, boys? I tried to make it simple and clean, but what questions do you think a person could come up with here?
Deadlines.
Deadlines. Have your list in on tabletop.to before you walk up to my people or me at the convention when we're checking people in.
How early can they start doing this deal?
For the main event, the doors open at 8 a.m.
To register online.
Oh, you could do it right now.
Right now, you say?
You can do
okay.
it right now. You can get yourself
All right.
on tabletop.to. You can add your lists today. You could have actually done it even a day ago. If you can get on a time machine, tell yourself, get it done even
What
earlier.
you're saying is to keep people from being procrastinating. If they're watching live right now, the best thing they could do is at least get themselves registered, even if they're still thinking about their list.
Correct. At least get your name on there. If you roll up to the desk, I'm just telling you right now what I'm going to tell them. If you step up and you're not on tabletop.to, you're going to the back of the line. You're not standing to the side while you get finished. You're going to be upset. I'm just telling you right now. You're going to be upset. I don't want to deal with you. You're not following instructions. Go to the back of the line, and when you're ready, you'll come. I'll even do it to Marcel. Marcel might be my scapegoat. I'll do it, Marcel. Don't make me do it, Marcel.
You see, I'm in there already. Kayla's not, so you're gonna have to hear the wrath if you send Kayla to the back.
I'll do it. I don't want to, though. You made this. This will be a situation where it's like, this was your fault, not mine. All right. So we got that out of the way. All of my strong emotions. Because if everybody follows the instructions, the line's going to go super fast. It's the people who don't follow instructions that make things slow down. That's why they have to go to the back of the line. It's like, nope. When you're ready, come back. But can I just, no, go to the back. Go to the back. It's going to be a long line. And we're going to have people walking back and forth being like, make sure you got this ready before you get up in there. Or we're going to have to go to the back of the line. I'm sure it's going to happen to at least one person. I am looking forward to their social media posts telling them how horrible of a person I am. It's okay. I feed off of it. All right? Here.
I feel like when you send them to the back of the line, it's like the walk of X-Wing shame.
That's right.
Shame.
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 Ding. Ding. All right. So I want to just kind of get that out of the way. In all seriousness, just to super simplify it, make sure get yourself signed up on tabletop.to. Put your list in when you're ready. Make sure that list is in there before you walk up to the registration desk. Have 2 paper copies with you. And when you walk up, you are going to be good to go. We'll give you a high five and everything if you want it. All right. So that is the first thing I wanted to cover. Okay, it says, what if they don't pay attention to any of this? And what if they're just going to Adepticon and signed up for X-Wing? Well, all of this event information is written and has been up for about a month on the Adepticon website, and we'll help them out. But they're going to fall under the same guidelines as everybody else. And I'm even getting an email sent out to every person signed up for X-Wing tomorrow. So I am trying to cover everybody's bases. So I have to put my line in the sand. Gotta do it. All right, because
Give you everything. You just have to use your eyes, to read,
that's
your
right.
head to keep it,
I'm
and
trying.
then actually do it.
You're right. And if somebody legitimately needs help, of course we're gonna help them out. But like, I will tell you know who I'll be the toughest on. I'm gonna be honest. If I know you by name in the X-Wing community, I will call you out. So you will be embarrassed. I will make sure to make that everybody knows that you did not respect me enough to just follow the instructions. That's all. Can you tell I've been stressed out today, guys? Can you tell? Can you tell I've been a little busy? Can you tell I'm a little on edge? Okay, just saying. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the timer. All right, there's been a lot of questions about how does this random timer work for events, and I'm actually going to go ahead, and I can't show you the document, but I can read you some information about how the timer will work. Essentially, per the Atomic Mass Games events rules document, each game timer will vary from 72 to 78 minutes, sometime in there. You'll get to know when the timer starts and when it ends, but that's about it. Now, Will, I would like you to take a guess on how this is going to work with the stream. I'm just curious how you think I solved it. And I tell you, this basically gives me a chance. If you have a better idea than I do, then I'll just switch it, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I would assume that to prevent any advantage to players, especially the stream table, that every table will be required to start at the same time.
Bingo, bango. That's it. All right. So what you'll see on stream, because somebody's gonna be like, well, can't I just check the stream to see how much time is left? False. On the stream, they will start a 72-minute countdown because that is the minimum that the game can go. That's the minimum. So on stream, that's a note saying the game will end. And when it gets to 0, it's the game will end at any minute, right? Within the next, what is it, math? Within the next 6 minutes, the TO will be calling time, and players will continue to play until then. So it's essentially, it's the countdown to the final moments or something. We'll come up with some fancy name in the next few days.
Doesn't it make sense to just do it like soccer style, football style? Just count up, and then when you hit the time, you already know, like,
That's the exact same, but different.
it's not how can it be the exact same but different? By definition, but different is
Because the only
opposite
timer
of exact same.
Well, here's the thing: is that the people who make the stream overlay, they count down. So
until they count up, that's what we have to do.
that's a great idea, though, Marcel. You should let them know.
Yeah, I actually think, the count up soccer style, does make sense now in how this is set up.
Yep. So that's how things will go. All right. Well, we'll be just everybody starts at the same time. Everybody will get the same amount of time. We'll make sure that the stream is ready to go, and then we'll go. The other concern, people were saying, will we have enough time to set up between each round? Now, Marcel, this weekend, we did a little warm-up tournament. It was my sorry. It was my opportunity to test a couple of the ideas I had. Did you feel you had enough time for setup?
No.
Well, you are also gabbing in between each round. That's kind of not what I was going for.
Well,
but I'll call you out on it.
Question.
I will.
Give
Yeah.
a direct answer. No.
So what would you would you describe your play as, like, you kind of casually got to your table? Like, describe. I would love from your perspective to know how you felt.
No, it was a casual thing. So we were all just talking and having fun, and so yeah, there was no sense of urgency, but it did feel extremely rushed, and it felt very unorganized. There was just a lot
you
going on.
felt very unorganized.
Yeah.
Okay, just what you said. It.
Oh,
You said it.
I'm sorry. I forgot. Dion's in his tilt stage.
I am tilted right now. The words matter.
Yeah. Words matter, but you asked me from my experience. So
Yeah.
I felt everything felt a little rushed. I was like, usually by the time that I got all the 34 cards that were in the list and got everything up, it felt like 20, 30 minutes had gone by already. So my takeaway from it was, my takeaway was not that we need to add more time to the in between. What my takeaway was that we as players, just understanding that there's a lot going on, we need to be better prepared. So I don't know, I have like one of those small boxes. I forgot they were from Etsy.
Yeah, there was a Modest
really
Orange Gaming, I think it was from.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Very cool boxes, great for carrying stuff. I'm not going to take that. I'm actually going to take a regular sized tray, like the trays that are the size of like a dice tray. not a dice tray, a template tray.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of stuff to carry around. You got to be a little more organized. I also am printing out the which you haven't talked about yet, but
Yeah, that's a great, good segues. Yes.
Yeah, I'm also printing out the arena. I have something like that, but I'm doing something that's like 4 times bigger than that. That actually fits a bunch of ships and stuff, and an easy. Yeah, because what I got right now is similar to what Ryan is showing, but I need something bigger. But I'm gonna print out the same way that Rick had his laminated printouts using what is it? Arena what? Arena something.
Infinite Arenas.
Infinite Arenas. Yes, I'm doing the Infinite Arenas laminated cards so that I just throw them on there. I'll let you kind of.
Yeah, that's a
kind of go from there. But yeah, that's basically just being better organized, which is one of my strong suits is my organizational and listening and reading skills is also high up there.
Yep.
My cleanliness and all that. So yeah. So if you are like me and you walk around with everything in a garbage bag and just dump it on the table and figure it out, it's probably not going to work.
Yeah, and actually that's a great segue because in my email, I'm actually going to be sending this out. This is an official event, but I'm in charge. So what does that mean? At least for Adepticon, the Infinite Arenas custom quick build cards is what they call it, are 100% legal to use at the event, but you must have all your cards with you, because if your opponent requests to see a physical card, you got to be able to have it. And why is that, Dion? Why can't I just bring the paper? The reason for that is in the event that I doubt 99% of you would never think to do this, but in the event that we'll say Infinite Arenas has a mistake, or somebody alters their Infinite Arenas thing to say something that it's not supposed to, we need to have the originals there to be able to compare back and forth if needed. For 99% of you guys, it's not going to be a big deal, but I didn't want to lock out this possibility for, the very slim chance that somebody does something not cool. So yeah. I want to actually take a second and show it off. Go ahead, Marcel, while I get it ready.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say another thing that you just got to be cognizant of. It's an official event, so you must also show proof of actual product ownership. Yeah, it's not like a casual event where you can proxy. You cannot proxy. It's an official event. The world's invites are being handed out. It's a major con, not a major con. That sounds terrible. It's a major convention. And as such, you have to have ownership of this, or somebody that you know has to have ownerships and let you borrow the ships that you are flying. So no conning.
Yeah.
No
so check this out. If you have not seen Marcel, can you send me do you have readily available your actual list? Do you have the Yasby link for your list by any chance, or for a list?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, I got the one. I got the one that we're doing. I got it.
Sure. Chuck me a list. This one right here. Cool. Got it. All right.
You got one, or
I took.
I put it on the chat, on the Ninja chat.
Got it.
Yeah, Dion, I'm glad you clarified this, because I was going to ask this. A lot of people started to take advantage of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna
quick builder. I would say there are some builds on some pilots that get so big and have so many upgrade cards that the text starts overlapping each other. So be cognizant of that.
Yeah, there's settings that you can do. There's settings that you can do to take the pilot ability and put it off to the side and things like that, so things don't overlap. So there are choices to.
Because when you have cards that have 2 sides to them, such as Agent Terex, he has to put both text on one side of a card, which doesn't help with all the other upgrades you can put on a ship.
So what you do is you take your, you start here at Yasby. You're going to go to print export, and you're going to go to XWS, copy. You go to the Infinite Arenas custom quick builds, paste, submit. All right, and then it's going to give you some options here. All right, now a lot of these have, you know, the fancy pictures there. There's a couple of different styles. I personally prefer yeah,
really good.
There it is. Hoth with the white backgrounds for the text is really the best, and also less ink. And then there was also actually one of these that I think is accidentally broken, which makes it, there it is. If you go Mandalore, it's just white. It's not very pretty, but if you don't got a color printer, you probably like this. But just kind of going back to Hoth here, Marcel was talking about you can reset things for different sizes. There you go. I tick the font size down 1 to be able to go here. You have a couple of different options for each of the pilots just to make it adjust as needed. You can add the half-point threshold as well as needed. But I have noticed, I think, for some of these, for odd numbers, it may be giving the wrong number. I'm not sure if it's if it is fixed yet, but you guys know that we're rounding down now. So that's probably the only issue I see there.
So we have a good question in the chat.
Yes.
Smikey's or Cody Wood wondering if you have these quick build cards.
Mm-hmm.
And because they only take up so much space depending on how big you print them.
Yep.
If a card has a lot of upgrades that have multiple charges, what is going to be the best way to handle that to make sure it's accurately kept track of what charges are assigned to what?
You can print them the way that
to have
Dion
the
has
upgrade cards with charges with that, like separately, or can they still do it completely off the quick build?
So you can, I mean, you just stack your, I mean, if I was, for instance, this Captain Oiken right here, right? This Captain Oiken right here has, you got Tiber Saxon and Captain Hark. I mean, just taking your charges and putting them next to it is not any less or more sloppy than how it is right now, where you have a full card, but they're all smushed together and charges are all over the place anyway. As long as you have a relatively organized way to place your charges, you should be fine. I would say, honestly, just placing them on or next to. So, for instance, if I had a Captain Oiken, anything on my left side here, I'm going to put the charges over here on the left. Anything on the right side, you put it over on the right side.
Yeah, best way is to communicate with your opponent if you bring a lot of charges and just tell them where everything should be.
Mm-hmm. Now, and again, this is not something that is required for you to do. I am simply trying to give an option for people for it to be more convenient, because I will tell you, once 2.5 hit, I used real cards one time, and I've been playing off of either a Yasby printout that has all of the text, which is required, by the way. If you're going to play off of, you can't play off of a piece of paper that just has a bunch of names of cards. You have to actually have the text from the cards on it. And why is that, Will?
Why do we need to see all the text?
Yeah,
because your opponent's gonna know.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like a stupid question, but not every single person has every single. What does Tiber Saxon do again? Oh,
especially the new Pride cards. As well.
Yep. Absolutely. So, doing that. Yeah, so 100% allowed, and if you love it, chuck Infinite Arena a couple of bucks, buy them a cup of coffee or something like that, because I know that a lot of people, it went from almost very few people knowing about this tool to it being probably like one of the best ways to actually have a squad together and it look cool, and stuff like that. Okay. So it's Chase Baffle said it's my first major tournament. What all does show proof of ownership mean? Am I fine with my models on official cards? Yeah. It's like we wouldn't. You can't come in with like your no cards and I don't know,
just a list printout.
Yeah,
and
just
no
a list
cards.
printout and some bases with no cardboard or ship on it. Like, I'm ready to play, right? Like that doesn't really work. Yeah, or like 3D printed bases or something. I'm trying to. Those are a little bit extreme examples, but yeah, just have your ships, have your cards, you'll be good. All right,
they're your proof of purchase tokens not required.
Yeah. So,
that gets you into a tournament. Yeah.
so I just remembered something else again, going back to what I learned on Saturday.
Yes.
Is also when you bring a couple things to make life a little easier. If you're bringing a list with a lot of different triggers and a lot of different charges,
Yeah.
if you have them, in the example that you had with like Oiken to the left and this to the right, if you have different types of charges, I suggest mixing up your charges. For example, I have the old 1.0 tokens that had like the 3 missiles on it. I forgot what they were.
Munitions tokens, I think.
Yeah, the munition tokens. I use that for like munitions. I have asteroid tokens for droids and things like that. And even if you don't, you can use something. You can use pennies, dimes, and nickels. It doesn't. You don't really need to have a specific type, and just don't flip them. Just put it to the side when you're done using it. That'll help it'll help you and your opponent know what you have and what you spent, and then have and this one I learned is have 20 of something. So you just have 20 of something to keep a visual and physical track of points per turn. I would say you have 20 something because hopefully you're winning by you're scoring 30 points or something because you're great. What I found, I tried a couple different things. I was putting dice, and that was cool and funny, but then I need the dice to roll whatever. But if you have an extra damage deck, that's what I started using, and just putting a damage. Like I have like some of the different damage decks from different tournaments. So using some of those, and that way it's easy to see how many damage decks, and it fits along the side of the board nicely. 10 and then another 10, and then and another thing that you can do is one of my opponents just brought a bunch of pennies. Like I said, just using pennies to count or something, and then you can always use the if you bought the epic set. What is it called? The epic, that one. Yep.
The huge ships.
The huge ship conversion kit. I did not buy one of those, so I don't have it. But people that bought that, they can use the little thing that comes in it. What I don't suggest using, and somebody let me borrow one, it's terrible, is a 20-sided dice. One, because you might score more than 20. And two, it is so frustrating trying to find the number in that little thing.
They have die that are set, by the way, that are next to each other. But also the mistake of something bumps it or something, right? They're not
or you score more than 20, and then you're like,
well, it should be a game over at that point.
No, but what if you win by 27?
In the turn, you can end up going higher. You destroy a ship because the game isn't over until the end of the end phase, right? You got to go all the way to the end. All the way to the end. Actually, I've never opened this before, so let's see. Is it in the huge ship expansion?
We should be playing more huge ships, Dion. Yeah,
we should.
It's for your energy and shields.
Oh, there it is. There it is right
useful.
Here. This thing right here. There it is. Nope, other side. These two, you put them together, and they become. You have these little dials, and it has numbers. They go 1 to 10 on this side, 1 to 10 on both sides. You can get up to, or maybe it's not 1 to 10. What are the numbers? 8. One of them goes to 8. One of them goes to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Anyway, you can count. You can count, and it looks like you get 2 of them Two of them in there. So this is probably the best way I've seen to count. To count the points, mind you,
it also conveniently works as a first player token too. You just hand it to your opponent to keep track of the scores.
Or if you are super cool, because only the cool kids do this, you can bring all your store championship coins and start loading them. Your 35 store championship.
I've got just a backpack full of just like first place trophies I'm throwing out.
No, I don't have.
I'll make sure 30, I bring 20, Marcel.
Yeah, I don't have 30 store kit codes, but I do have like 30 or 40 of the LVO poker chip things I gave that one time.
That's a way to do it.
I got a bunch of those, yeah, poker chips.
Yeah, you can also use. We have like a whole case of the store championship focus tokens, those metal ones. So if you want to turn your 20 price kit tickets to get some of those, you can go crazy there. All right, now going on to our next thing that I wanted to touch on was how to prepare for side events. Because people have been asking, Dion, what do I need for my side events? You, of course, need a squad. Make sure to read the event information packet. But the number one thing you need if you're going to be playing Aces High or if you're playing in the droids you're looking for, you must have a hyperspace token. You must have 2 hyperspace tokens. Do not forget them, because we are not providing them for you. You must have them. AMG considers those part of your kit, part of your standard kit, the hyperspace tokens. So make sure to have those in your box. Just if you don't know where it is.
What's a hyperspace token?
The triangle, or not really triangle, 3-sided thing. Hyperspace jump token.
I honestly threw everything that was not used away. So
it was in the core set.
Exactly, it was not used. Like, when would you ever have used any of that in?
Well, luckily, it's not too late to order one from curledpawcreatives.com.
What are those used for?
They're used for Aces High and for the droids you're looking for, the side event.
Oh,
both
for
of
the
those.
side events? Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You don't need it for the main event yet. You never know. What if there's a scenario that requires it? I wouldn't be surprised if that pops up. Gold Squadron online league. Anyway, we'll give an example of that soon. But yeah, so make sure to have those hyperspace tokens. If you don't have them, you can hope that somebody else has them. I can't provide them for you. I spent our money on other things, not hyperspace tokens. Yeah, so we got that out of the way. Let's talk about prize. Did you guys see some of the stuff, the prize ticket stuff? All right.
I believe so, yeah.
Alrighty. So what I wanted to do here is, did I publish the how much things cost?
I don't think you did yet.
All right.
You just teased it.
No, you published it. You were saying 20 points was the most expensive.
Oh yes, on the I think the latest announcement you did.
All right. Well, there you go. If you haven't seen it yet, we got a plethora of things. Lots of things for a single ticket cost. Here we go. Bam. Lots of things for a single ticket cost, including those store championship focused tokens, some of the generics. And then as you go, you can get a clear spot gloss for 2 at the most expensive. If you want those Infernal Squadron templates, by the way, there's pictures of all this stuff on the Discord. You can do that. And probably the thing that we have the least of, and I don't know what it came from. Maybe you guys know, the double-sided Maurus and Temin Wexley. I think that was from an unreleased store kit. I had 6 of them only. They're really, really cool. And I had never seen one in the wild. It is, and somebody had asked which Temin is it? It's the good Temin. All right, it's the
We got
black
booster
two.
flap.
You got flappity flap.
Okay.
And for most of these things, we have a decent number of a lot of this stuff. If the cost is high, that's that there isn't a lot of them. But I did price these things to be gone. Like AMG said you can basically, we don't have to send back anything, but that means that then I have to deal with it, which, I mean, it's cool. It'll end up going into like mystery boxes and things like that. But I would rather you guys leave with a treasure trove of stuff. That's what I want. And then these down here are two different reasons. So the Plo Koon ships, the Inferno Squadron trays, and the Inferno Squadron boxes. We only have a few of those, okay? We only have a few of those. So instead of making them part of the prize wall and make it like 50 tickets each, which is ridiculous and dumb, and I don't think it's worth it for anybody to do that, we're just going to give it away. We're just going to give it away to somebody. And with the Inferno Squadron charges, there's a set of 3. We have enough to give every single person in the main event a set. So I said, let's just do it. We'll have some left over, and I'll see what I end up doing with those. But everybody guaranteed a set in walking away with those. They're really, really nice. And with I expect people to be pretty happy about that. Like I said, my goal is to make sure everybody walks out of that main event just very happy with the amount of stuff that they got. Does this sound good? What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's only a treasure trove. I'm pretty sure.
I sure would love. Let's see, the ones that jump out at me: the Barris and Ahsoka double-sided card seems really cool, and those official strain tokens. Those are some of the smaller ones that I kind of just I think are cool and I would like. And they're only 3. Easy.
That's right. Easy. We got a lot of stuff. And these will be set. I got my displays in the mail today. They look really nice. One of them was broken. We're just gonna glue it together because they can't get it to us on time. But it'll work. You'll never know which one is the broken one. What?
So I paid absolutely no attention, and I'm sorry. Well, not really sorry, but
Doubt. But continue.
Question is, in the main event, are there what's the handout of prize tickets during the main event?
So for every game that you play, you get one. For every game that you win, you get another. So there will be one ticket on the table, on the line.
And same for the cut.
Same for the cut, yeah.
Okay.
And most of the side events work that way. Aces High works a little different. Make sure you read the Aces High rules. But yeah, that's that. And for the droids you're looking for, that's the only side event that doesn't give tickets. Because you leave with like the actual like instruction. You live with the stuff from the OP kit. Like that's your giveaway for that.
Yeah. Also, yeah, he's been going nuts about it. There you go.
Sorry about that.
It's give you away.
Give you away. That's right. Giveaway. There it is. Main event giveaway and weekend giveaway. And how do I get tickets for the giveaway, Dion? How does that work? We'll have, like I said, I got a bunch of stuff for raffle, and yeah, do side events. I'll tell you, if you got time and you want cool stuff, you won't do side events. Just let you know. You should do side events. It's good stuff. Alrighty. Like that's my spiel for Adepticon. I know I pretty much stole the podcast to do a bunch of announcements. So I should shut up now. Some people say giveaway now. No. Not gonna do that. So I'm gonna be quiet and we're gonna talk about lists now for a little bit. If you guys have questions about Adepticon, this is your last. Oh, the stream schedule. Okay, yes, the
stream schedule, and also I don't know if you want to go over. At least the frequent, like the most common
Oh, the rules
Rules
questions.
questions.
Yeah, that was the other thing we were supposed to talk about today. Yes. Rules questions. Okay. The stream schedule will be every day from I have to decide the exact start time, but probably like Thursday and Friday. Expect the start time to be later, probably somewhere around 10-ish, because the whole point of those is really we want to grab people playing those side events, and it's like we want to get a couple games of the droids you're looking for. We want to get a couple of aces, not aces high, a couple of the pod games, things like that. We want to spread it around, and of course, when it comes to the main event, if I go and take a peek at our what just happened? My computer just freaked out. Well, it looks like I lost Google Chrome. 1 second, please. Google Chrome was like, I quit. Too many tabs, Dion. Oh, gotta love it. It'll be in the morning for the event.
Anymore.
That's my point. That'll start at the start time of the event, which is at 9. Is what my brain is remembering. But I don't want to be quoted on that, so I will take the moment to read the schedule, which is what I was looking for originally.
I think we're still.
We can hear you.
People are going to judge me for my messy desktop. Here we go.
I didn't know if it was my internet that dropped or.
He did change to us.
So you know that
stream
on
right now, and
the check in there is at
sees all of us, so
starts
he's
actually.
here.
This check in should actually say.
I'm not sure if
is
even
that
they
8?
can hear us because
As
I'm not even
early
seeing
as
the
8.
chat responding to this.
I guess I had it on 9 already there.
Okay,
You can show up if you want. If you don't want to be in the big line, show up at 8. Just letting you know. Okay. All right.
He's in his zone though. He's going over.
Can I not? I can't hear you guys. I lost them too. Wrecked. Oh my goodness. No. Well, this is an interesting podcast. Being able to talk to myself for a while and just
can't hear us. By the
see
way,
the guy.
Okay, good thing I didn't.
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Good thing I didn't say anything naughty.
Yeah, this is a little awkward. Never had this. Yeah, I know. We
We
can't
can't hear
hear.
Dion talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took over. Like I told you, this was a takeover. Let's try again.
I see his lips
Hello?
moving on stream.
Okay, I can hear them
I don't know
now.
what he's saying.
Yeah, chat's like we can hear all 4 of you. This is where a lot of editing is going to happen for Dion later.
Doubt.
You blame him for.
I'm not editing.
Edit.
Yep.
Nope. Can you guys hear me now?
Unfiltered.
We can hear you now. Yay!
Okay. Sorry about that.
See, you went to go do a
crashed.
thing in your desktop and then just exploded.
Yeah. Anyway,
Very strange.
let us try that again. I was trying to bring up the rules, but yeah, earlier on Saturday and Sunday, and later on Thursday and Friday is essentially what we got. All right, I want to talk about the rules questions. And let you guys, kind of take the lead here. 'Cause I've been talking too much. All right, take the first one, Will.
Okay. Give me a second here. Link it to me then.
Oh,
Is it
sorry.
in the
I realized.
official- Is it in the official document?
Yeah,
There you
Dion, you're not sharing with us. Okay.
No, I want to. Oh, can we not access this document right now?
You can. I'll put it in our notes.
That works for me.
Right there.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So let's start with when is an attack considered to be at attack range 0? If the attacker is at range 0 of the defender, if the attacker is at range 0 of the defender, probably overlapping bases, the attack range is 0. And regardless of the range in the attack arc. So from what I understand, Dion, is that if you're at range 0, There is no way your shot can be at range 1.
Yeah, we weren't going to deal with it. Sorry, Ada players all crying. But what if I hit at an angle and my bullseye's on it? That's a range 1. No. If your ships are touching, it's range 0, end of story. You can cry about it on the internet somewhere, but I'm not going to give it to you. It's range 0. That was the decision made.
Just don't bump your ship. Just
yeah, there it is.
Just get better, right? If you're an Ada, you had system phase reposition. You shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. So that's how we solve it. Because there can also be some weird situations where, like, if you got a weird like a turret and you bump at a certain angle, you can have these things where like the turret arc isn't on there, or the turret arc is on but not in contact with the other ship. Like it's weird. So if the bases are touching, it is range 0. And that includes if the nubs, if you end up like this, where if you have plastic touching plastic, it's range 0. I don't have a base in range of my hands, but it's range 0. End of story on that one. All right, Ryan, the next most common question is how does overlapping work?
A fun one. Which ship? All right, so basically, there's a diagram here for people who are listening, where there's a decimator and 2 small base rebel ships. In the first diagram, it shows a decimator and an A-wing that's bumped on the side of it, and another ship that would like to move. And it shows that the template and the ship end would have overlapped both. The second one is the friendly ship would have flown over the decimator, and its end position would have overlapped the other friendly ship. The other A-wing that's bumped. And then the third image shows the rebel ship final position would have been on the decimator, but ends up bumping into the A-wing. So what this is trying to illustrate is the ship would have overlapped at the end of the template. That's the key. It doesn't matter where the final bump position is, matters at the end of the template. Because in diagram 1, overlapping a friendly and enemy means it's treated as overlapping enemy, means you roll for damage and take no bump action. And then the second diagram, it's just straight overlapping a friendly, which is the same thing, roll a damage, no red, calculate, or focus. And then the last is when you overlap an enemy, again, final position, overlaps an enemy, you can take your red, focus / calculate action. So remember, the key is the final position. So that may end up causing more situations where people need to mark ships and make sure they find out where the final position is. If you think it's going to be difficult, Dion, how many judges are you expecting to be there?
We have on Saturday and Sunday we will have 4. Okay. We had wait, let me double check that. I'm pretty sure the answer is 4. Nick. Oh no! On Saturday we have 5.
Okay, so is it acceptable? Because this might be some people's first time playing. Is it acceptable for 2 players who are playing against each other to call for a judge to ask them to help resolve this bumping?
So my answer to that is what I don't want, and this is going to, here we go, hot takes coming in. It is not my judge's job to play the game for you. Okay? Mark the ships yourself.
Yeah.
Mark the ships yourself. Get that. And if there is an argument as to where things end up, that at that point, you call the judge. But in most of these situations, it's going to be pretty cut and dry if you just do the work yourself. The judge's job is not to play the game for you.
Theo, would you say the goal is not to, like you said, don't call a judge over just to say, we want you to do it, just so just because if we mess up, then we gotta whatever. So the best thing to do is say, if you think it might get messy, wave a judge over in case you're doing like the
Twister.
Twister. Yeah, you're doing the twister on the X-Wing table. You're trying to go over one ship, move another, and you're like, there's a chance something might get knocked over or moved slightly. Just see if a judge's eyes can at least be over right? But you don't need to ask them to perform all this for you unless you actually need a third hand or a third person's hand. You have 4 hands.
Yep. So just when in doubt, yes, you should call a judge. But like I said, don't expect them to play the game for you. Alrighty, Marcel, take a look at this one.
What interactions and what abilities may be used during a range 0 attack? While attacking at range 0, a number of restrictions are made on the attack dice unless an ability specifically refers to range 0 attacks. The attacker's dice cannot be modified outside of the attacker spending force for their default effect. Below are examples of what cannot be done to the attacker's dice.
So tell me, what can you not do at range 0? You cannot.
So you cannot add results. For example, calibrated laser targeting. You can't add the focus result. You can't change results. Plated hull, for example. Re-rolling results, for example, Han Solo in the Rebel YT 1300. Spending results, for example, Thane Corell, Rebel X-Wing. You spend the result to get a crit. And adding attack dice, for example, advanced targeting computer on the TIE Advance, Kazuto, and the Fireball. Now, I do have clarifying questions that I'm curious about. One of them is Dengar's Punishing One title.
You're adding a dice.
You're adding a dice.
But
You are
the title of the Hawk is
Gives you a weapon.
That's a
primary
weapon. Yeah,
but it's a
But it's not
primary.
printed.
It's counted as a primary weapon, so it's still
right. That's
allows shot.
The Hawk does allow range 0 attacks.
Now, additional. So you cannot modify the attacker's dice. Can you modify the defender's dice?
no.
No, and I think that's what the changing
We
results.
haven't gotten
Actually,
there yet.
Okay.
Well,
Because I
say-
had questions about that, about crack shot plus
That's
juke
in the
and
that's
stuff
in the
like that.
next part. Just talking about attacker's
See,
dice right now.
I'm 10 steps
I know,
ahead of you guys.
man. You're asking the right questions.
So
though.
then-
you certainly are.
is plating hull might not be a good example because that's a defender thing, not an attacker thing.
But that's what got my gears turning. We're talking things like Luminara, which could make someone's hit turn into an eyeball. We're talking things like L337's reroll. You cannot do as well.
I was pretty sure defenders can still modify attackers' dice.
That's like I said. That was my kind of question. There is that worded.
Well, I think this. I'm not sure how.
Because like
That
so, what
might
do you
have
mean by
been-
changing results? Because plated hull is a defending thing.
Sorry, that changing results would be.
Do you think the TIE X1 like advanced
like an
targeting
advanced
computer?
optics or something.
Yeah,
Advanced optics just
that's a
creates new
better
result.
That's a better example.
Okay.
See what happens when you source out work. I'm just kidding.
No,
Thank you,
that's
Chris.
fine. This is why it turns out it's helpful to go through it all,
Yeah.
line by line.
Yeah.
But these are referring to the attacker.
Right. The attacker can't do that.
Well, see,
Can't do any of that.
This is what I'm the wording of this. The attacker's dice cannot be modified. So no modifications to those
None.
dice.
Basically,
including
it's
the
we
defender
were
doing
trying to
that.
list out everything. What you can do, you can look at how many dice you get on the weapon, roll those dice, and you're done.
Like spend force if you have it.
Or spend force if you
So
got it.
we need to clarify in that line: the attacker's dice cannot be modified by the attacker.
Yes. Is that? Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong, John. I'm second guessing it.
Right.
Myself.
I understand. Now, my understanding is they can't be modified at all by nobody.
The rules. This is Lambo.
Yeah, but the defender's
confirms.
dice.
Well, we're
Well,
not
we
talking
haven't-
about the defender's dice. We're talking about the attacker's
We're getting
dice.
to the can the defender modify the range
It
0
sounds like-
attacking dice?
It sounds like no. So plated hull was a good example because
Okay,
that was an
so never
example
mind.
of the defender modifying your attack dice.
Boom. Can do it.
That's a
Nada.
weird example, but it does.
So
Yeah, because when you say plated
Does
hull,
modify.
it makes me think
So
on
Kanan-
defender end, not the attacker end.
yeah, so Kanan Hawk does not work at range 0 because you are reducing a die.
You're
Correct.
changing the amount they roll. Just like if you're depleted, you would still roll one fewer.
What you're adding or removing.
No, that's when you form the pool. So you're saying you can't be depleted at range 0?
You can.
I know we're
you can. That's a
ruining
game. That's a game effect.
Yeah,
Okay.
but this is a defender effect. simply
Kanan
plated
is
hull.
modifying. I mean, Kanan is not depleting you. He is doing an
Right.
ability that makes you shoot with one less. It's basically a reverse Jan Ors.
So you're asking.
Or think about it, it's a reverse Pierce Sabak, right? If Pierce Sabak can't add, then I would say Kanan Jarrus probably couldn't take away.
So I will.
I think he still can.
I will
'cause
double
that's-
check. Let me just say, I will double check about Kanan specifically. I'll just add it to the list here of the many things we gotta double check here. But we'll do double check Kanan Hawk at range 0. Okay, I'll double check that. Okay.
Right, because Kanan's not a modification. That's kind of where the line is blurred there. Because we are, unless we're talking about dice modifications, that's creating the dice pool. A little bit different. But let's keep going. I think we've exhausted that
Yeah.
as best we can there.
So the next part here is canceling results is not considered dice modification. This means that a defender of a range 0 attack may use abilities which cancel the attacker's dice, such as selfless. All right, there's that part. Then there's also restrictions that have been made on the attacker's ability to interact with the defender's dice. The attacker may not reduce the number of dice the defender rolls, such as wedge. You cannot cancel the defender's results, such as crack shot, and you cannot modify the results, such as juke. Other abilities that do not directly interact with the previous restrictions function normally. For example, Forlom, Crew for Scum, and Commander Cody, Republic. There it is. All right. Now we talked a little bit about what's legal, Will. What rocks can I bring?
That's a great question. So the obstacles you can bring are included in the first edition core set, the first edition Force Awakens core, the second edition core, the Never Tell Me the Odds expansion, the Pride of Mandalore expansion. Those would be all the asteroids specifically. Debris clouds can be found in the Outrider, the VT-94 Decimator, and the Pride of Mandalore expansion, and the gas clouds that are legal can be found in Guardians of the Republic, Servants of Strife, and the Never Tell Me the Odds expansion. So,
Oops.
that should be, if you have a core set, and if you have cardboard debris or cardboard obstacles, it sounds like it should be legal.
The only ones that don't work are the epic ones. Those do exist. Anything.
That's
Yeah,
true. The
they're-
cargo droppers and the couple other things.
Okay, I'm sending a message right now to my judges. All right.
About Kanan.
Yeah.
You typed it faster than me.
All righty. And then we got some specific questions to the scenario. Ryan?
When can you perform a scenario action? For example, is Darth Vader in the TIE Advanced X1 able to use his ability to perform a scenario action? So first bullet point, you may only perform a scenario action as the action granted during your regular perform action step. Darth Vader may not perform an action and then spend a force to perform a scenario. Darth Vader may perform a scenario action first as his perform action step action, and then spend a force for his ability to perform other actions. So this would also work for, say, like Poe Dameron. He would require to do the scenario action first. This is Trigger Happy Flyboy Poe, by the way. To then do another action, normal one, as a red action. Also, interesting enough that I've kind of maybe found a little more value in, Commander Poe can help his friends do the same thing. They can do a scenario action and then do a red, whatever action they would normally do.
Absolutely. Marcel, next one.
Can I fail a scenario action? Yes. A scenario action fails when there is no scenario feature in range. So that triggers what is that? Composure?
Composure.
It
Yes, that's
does.
another option that can fail.
Okay, my 1 point to going to composure just got a lot better. Let me see if it reaches. Nope. Okay, here's a focus.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely. And I think they errata composure to be a little better. If I'm not, I feel
No,
something
they made
changed,
it worse
right?
a long time ago. But you can no longer do any other actions or gain. I think it's no other actions the round.
Something
So you
like
can't
that.
be coordinated
okay.
later, or you can't link off of it, or something.
I believe it might say activation around. Who would bring composure to a major tournament though? Psh,
Not yet.
Now probably me.
that was me. I definitely brought it to a major tournament.
All
You
right.
can't perform additional actions this round, so be careful with it.
Yeah, I just know I think I abused it a long time ago with Snap actually. That was it. That was before it got actually like fixed.
Yeah. Now there are a lot of different, lot of different ones here. There's another one I wanted to hit, right here. Alrighty. Will, go ahead and hit this one for me.
What's the end phase timing for points scoring? When do I score my points? When do I win the game? In or a summary of in phase timings. Mission points are scored and calculated at the start of the end phase. Abilities are resolved, such as lats and stuff. These are going in order as a note. So mission points. Any start of end phase abilities. During end phase, then circular tokens are removed. Reoccurring and negative reoccurring charges are updated accordingly. Then we do the end of the end phase. All of those abilities would resolve. And then finally, scenario victory conditions are checked at the end of the end phase. So, score points first. Once you hit the end phase, win the scenario at the end of the end phase. I'm not sure you could baffle. I guess baffle would be a way for a ship to be destroyed halfway through that somehow for whatever reason. And that would actually give you victory points before the win is actually calculated.
You could electronic baffle on a ship that has dead man switch and kill another kill another ship.
You could,
which could then score you more points. All right.
if you somehow traded, your 3-point ship for their 4-point ship, and that was the difference in mission points to pull off the win. You've an achievement thing should pop up for doing that. But the main thing is mission points always calculated first. The win is never determined until the end of the end phase.
Yeah, I saw some. The reason we clarified this is I saw some peeps out there being like, wait, so I can use Hawk and boost, and then I'm in range, and that means I can score scenario points. No. The scoring of the points happens first before anything else, and then all the rest for the end phase. So we made that super clean, even though that's not detailed anywhere. We just made it super clean. It's our best guess as to how it will end up being. And if you don't know, D literally is one of the moderators on the official forum. So it's not an official ruling, but it's official for Adepticon. And wouldn't be surprised if it moves into official status.
You said you can't use Hawk and then get the scenario, right?
Correct.
No, because game effects are first, then player effects.
But
you could.
this bullet point here contradicts what you just said, though.
No,
it doesn't.
In order right now, scenario victory conditions are checked that occur at end phase.
No, your victory condition is did you win the game?
Victory condition. Oh,
Victory.
yeah. Okay.
Did you win the game?
Sorry.
So question, and so
That's a good question though.
you
Good
get the
clarification.
somebody just used the example of electronic baffle. So you electronic baffle into quick draw, and quick draw kills a ship. So
Sure.
then you've already calculated mission points.
Yeah.
Do you get the points at the immediate point that the ship died?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mission points are
Of
separate
course.
from ship points.
So mission points, we're specifically talking about things like being at range 1 in assault of the satellite array, or do you have the cargo tokens during salvage mission, things like that.
So, but in your situation, Marcel, say that quick draw electronic baffled and shot at someone and got a crit on a salvage ship. That ship already gained its points for that salvage.
That's a good. Yeah, that's technical. Yeah, I like that.
You can also end up scoring because you have it and then being killed by quick draw, but you already scored the point, and even though you're dead, you would have done it already that turn. But yeah,
I want to see that happen. People got to be putting electronic baffle on every quick draw build just to win it, and just to snatch victory from.
It's like they get the
opponent.
objective from their salvage. They're like, I think I got this. They're sitting in front of a quick draw that has baffle ready to go and shoot him, and he ends up killing the ship anyway and gets the win.
Yeah, it's it'll be interesting. Some end phase shenanigans that can happen. I will tell you, Will. I have now rigged up a way for us as commentators to be able to hear the table the entire game, because I think it's really needed. Even more now.
Yeah. If we're not going to have if we're not going to have like a visual line of sight of them.
Yep. So that is that. We wanted to bring that up, and then the other question is, all draws are back. How does this work, Will?
Okay, so when does a game end in a draw? Yes, there's draws. It happens when 0 or 1 players have ships remaining in the play area. 1 player has more than 20 points and more mission points than their opponent at the end of the 12th round or at the end of the timer. If all of those, most cases where players refer to draws is a case where both players have reached 20 mission points, but the 12th round has not been reached. If this is the case, continue playing until one of the above criteria is met. So that's a pretty standard scenario rule. If you must win by 1, right? Unless it's the 12th round. Okay. But on that 12th round or at the end of time, if you are tied, you then would draw. And a draw would be a single point versus the full 5 of a victory.
3 for a victory.
Oh, 3. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. 15 points to get into the cut. Gotcha.
And then the question comes up, well, what are you going to do in the cut if somebody draws? There is going to be basically a road roll. We're going to do a first player roll, and whoever's the first player is the winner. That's it. It is, in fact, it is more fair than Final Salvo was. More
Yes.
fair than it ever was, because you're literally both have the same amount of chances. Like there's no difference.
I'm glad
kind
to see
of-
Final Salvo gone.
Yeah, I will
Finally
tell.
gone.
I will tell you that it's that is something that we decided. That was not something that anybody else decided. That is a Gold Squadron decision making, because we didn't exactly have direction on that at the time when this document came out. So it could change in the future, but as for right now, that is the way we're going to go with it. We're trying to set a precedent, or at least give an idea on how it should work. All right, so that is that. We have some specific questions for specific cards. So if you have if you're worried about a specific effect, go ahead and just search for the pilot name and go in here. That's we're not going to go through all the pilots. Doesn't make any sense to do that.
Do we have a command in the chat to link to this?
Not yet.
Dion, can I ask
Yes.
something?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you've thought about.
Oh, God. I hope so.
We're not doing a road rule on the final, right? Unless it's 12 rounds. If they hit 12 rounds, then sure.
We'll go to. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I don't really want to do that.
12-round final seems to make sense to me, right?
Adepticon tradition, Lupin Chewy.
I mean, if they're tied at the end of the 12th round, like, yeah, let's bust out some Lupin Chewy, because things have gone haywire in this whatever matchup we were watching.
I have been thinking about the.
So it sounds like the time of day. If it's like, running late, maybe not, but
It's a game time decision. My
Makes sense to
James
me.
tradition. My tournament organizer brain says that we have to have just keep the timer and just be done with it that way, and we do the road rule. That's my tournament organizer side. My streamer side says no, we need a resolution. We need to find a winner, right? But that kind of could potentially push us into like untimed finals again. But we end up with a 12th round.
12-round final.
12-round final.
Yeah, I mean, they have to end it there.
Yeah. So it's
but depends on the pace of play. 12 rounds.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
forever.
If we're in round 3 and 75 minutes up or whatever.
Yeah. So
Game time
we'll
decision.
see.
That's smart. Pocket that one.
Yeah. It's a game time decision, and I don't want to give. I don't want to give where, like, I do have what's the word? I have a scale of priority of how I am going to make that choice, but I'm not going to reveal it because I don't want people to try to play against it, if that makes any sense. If it could come up. All right.
Go for the win is what we're saying.
Go win the tournament, okay? Go get that dub. All right. And this one was put in here by Chris himself. He said an opener, interaction, spacing, etc. that works on Tabletop Simulator or Vassal. When created in a game, it didn't work. Sorry. Physical tables take precedence. Double check your plans on real space before you are unfortunately surprised. And why am I bringing that up? Well, because not every mat is the same size, even if they look exactly the same. All right. Just that's kind of our forewarning there. Bam. Okay. So, any questions about is there any other rules that you think we forgot that we missed? Let us know. I mean, we already closed the window for submissions, but I guess we could talk about it.
This is, I know, outlier, but it can come up. What was the ruling on time extensions for the game?
Nah,
Obviously,
fam. You don't get it.
No,
Don't
All
be
right.
extended. We can't. Just
Factor
the way
that into your time management, then I
Yep.
guess.
So if this is gonna sound, we can't. As a player, listen to me as a player, not as a tournament organizer, okay? As a tournament organizer, I already decided that we can't do time extensions outside of an absolute atrocity, you know? And even in that case, we might not let you play that round, just being honest, because we got to keep things moving. Halfway through your
that's fair.
game, everything on the table falls down. We probably just literally have you do a road roll and you're done. Like, I know that sounds terrible, but we got to keep things moving as a player. Okay, if I know that is in the that time extensions are not a thing, you got to be. You want to call a judge when there's a question, but don't waste time asking judges what I'm going to call stupid questions. Okay? Things like, can you move my ship for me? Right? Like, no, just do it. Just do it yourself. Just do it yourself. 'Cause I don't want a player to be like, well, the judge took too long moving the thing, and it's your fault, judge, that X happened. No. Not going to deal with it. We've opened up definitely the biggest can of worms that have been opened up with some of the rules changes, in my opinion, is the variable timer, right? The variable timer and range zero. Those are the two, because those are where the most number of questions can end up popping up, and we're just doing the best that we can with what we have. So,
As you said, like, obviously it's. It's going to come down to you and D in these situations.
We got to keep the boat moving. The boat don't stop. Stay on the boat. Stay on the boat. All right. I want to look at some lists now. All right, list of the weeks. I want one from each of you. We've had a bunch of people submit. Let's, for sake of time, because it is already 10 o'clock, let's just have each person does their own list, and we move on for the day. And in the future we can do a little bit more. But I think for sake of time, we keep things rolling. Okay. Who wants to go first? Any volunteers for first?
I'll go.
All right, Marcel. Here we go. You brought in a Sloan Swarm, your favorite thing ever. What are we? So we're starting off here with Captain Oiken. Captain Oiken with Marksmanship, Ruthless, Admiral Sloan, Tiber Saxon, Captain Hark, and the Dauntless title. And we have, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Obsidian Squadron TIE Fighters plus Night Beast coming in there at 20 points. Take it, Marcel.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that in itself is, you can get a little creative with Tiber Saxon. I mean, I understand, what he was mentioning earlier, or what William had talked about earlier at some point, I think in the previous cast or in a previous thing. But after you perform an attack at attack range 1 to 2 that hits, if the defender has no face-up damage cards, you may spend 1 or more charges. For each charge you spend, the defender gains a strain token. So that happens at a higher initiative, and then the TIE fighters can kind of make their 2 dice guns a little bit more meaningful. However, I think for this one, while 7 ships sounds great, I think it's a bit much with the TIE fighters that really don't have any upgrades right now, with so many loadout points that you can do and so many different things. I think you're probably punching a little bit light. So what I would do is I would get rid of one of those TIE fighters.
Which one of the Obsidians?
Yeah, just one of the generics. And then upgrade Oiken to Rear Admiral Chernu. And then upgrade, take Cyber out, Tiber Saxon. And then upgrade Captain Hark for Darth Vader.
Yeah, you should. Decimate doesn't have any red moves for Captain Hark as a note. Do you not? Put,
then-
oh, it does have hard ones. Never mind. I'm a fool.
And then for the other crew, you add Minister Tua. And then you can take one of those Obsidian Squadron fighters and upgrade it to an Alpha TIE Interceptor with probably Elusive. So Elusive to keep it alive a little bit longer, and then the configuration also just so you don't bump yourself. I think the sensitive controls on Initiative 1 are kind of a must. And you still end up with a 6-ship list. One of your 6-ship list, but now your TIE Interceptor is a little bit more defensive because of that Elusive, plus it hits a little harder with the 3 dice. And Rack itself just hits like a monster truck. And the Vader being able to clear tokens or do damage up front is really good. And then I really like, with the scenarios and the pace of play at the moment, Rack, it's going to be really hard to kill Rack just because of, what is that, 16 health, I think? 12 plus 4.
It's a thick boy.
Yeah, it'll take a while to kill Rack. And the likelihood of him dying is not very high. So those 9 points are pretty safely guarded. And what can happen that I like with this particular build is that if you don't bump, assuming that you don't bump, if you're able to clear a maneuver, just shoot past somebody, you can shoot past somebody, take a target lock during your action phase or your activation phase, and then use Minister Tua if you've taken a damage to reinforce the rear, and then at that point you can use your Darth Vader to clear the token. You've got Rack's ability with the reinforce. You've got the target lock. The likelihood of landing some serious damage is high, especially with Ruthless. You're going to be hitting really hard. And then on top of that, you can even rotate and still have modifiers after you rotate. You can move, rotate, then Minister Tua into the reinforce. So this is probably, I like this a little bit better. It's still 6 ships, but that Interceptor is really good at getting objectives, and Rack is really good at just deleting ships. So this is probably the way I would leave that particular list.
I like it. There you go. So final here, Rear Admiral Sheridan with Ruthless, Admiral Sloan, Darth Vader, Minister Tua, Dauntless, Night Beast in the TIE Fighter, 3 Obsidian Squadron TIE Fighters, and an Alpha Squadron pilot, the Interceptor, with Elusive and Sensitive Controls. All right, Ryan, what are you cooking up for us?
We have a Republic list here from, I believe it was Matt B. Matt TB. One of those. We have a Barriss, Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi, all the regular Delta 7s, and then we have 3 V-Wings, Contrail, Click, and Tarkin. All 3 Jedi have Brilliant Evasion. All of them have calorie laser targeting. Few differences. Barriss has Mag Pulse. Mace Windu has the what I call the Pattern Analyzer droid, aka R4P17. 2 charges after fully execute red. You may spend charge to perform an action while stressed. Obi has Prockets, very very dangerous. Contrail Besh. All V-Wings have Besh. Click, dedicated, delayed fuses, concussion bombs, R4P. Tarkin, R3, ion missile, delayed fuses, concussion bombs. So I think the few things I would adjust in this one is look at Brilliant Evasion as something that I think mathematically doesn't make sense to take most of the time. There's better force upgrades that you can go after. And I think there's probably a better place to put the Mag Pulse missiles. And potentially, I think, while Obi-Wan, 3 Force, good. I approve. I think Plo Koon might sneakily be the better 5 cost. So this is probably one of my only pilot changes, although I will offer an option later on. But swap Obi to Plo. And then we are going to give Plo Patience, Predator, R3, and this is where we're going to have the Mag Pulse. Mag Pulse, you want to be at a higher initiative to affect other things that could be shooting back at you, or affect other stuff that your friendly ships will shoot at that is now jammed or got their tokens jammed. The very distinguishing part of Plo Koon right now as a CLT ship is he can take Predator. So let's say you only have one force, or you didn't have your focus left over. You can still add that eyeball and re-roll it with Predator. That is something that these ships have never been able to do before. So I think it's pretty valuable in that regard. You still get pretty much the same loadout as Obi. You just have one less force, but don't knock Plo's actual own ability. If he's kind of laying out in the back a bit, or he's doing other objective things, he can still pass a green token to a friendly ship that might need it the most. Actually, take that back. We are going to actually swap Mace Windu for Ahsoka. I've been trying out Ahsoka a lot recently. I'm not sure. I mean, you may have good things with Mace, but I think Ahsoka, specifically with C-110P, aka Chopper, is a much more disruptive and game-affecting ship than that Mace Windu. Your force power can just be compassion, not often used, but can save a ship's life, which is really cool. And then you're gonna adjust Barriss to, instead of taking Mag Pulse, take concussion missiles and instinctive aim. That way, not completely relying on the lock action to be able to shoot those. You can shoot them via instinctive aim if you've just taken a focus, if you hadn't used the ship chassis ability. I was kind of surprised to see R4P Astromech for Click. Click really likes to use his ability on more than one ship. I would get rid of the delayed fuses and put R3 Astromech on Click. And you have a lot of ships here that really wanted to line up bullseyes. I think I would opt into ion bombs instead of concussion bombs. For Click, specifically. Tarkin, I think, could stay as you want. You have another ion piece with ion missiles. I do get the point of delayed fuses and concussion bombs. You have the ability to hold off on them going off. You can store them on a objective that could be valuable. R3 makes sense on Tarkin. He wants to share his locks. What I don't know is whether this Tarkin is as good as, say, Danae or a Handmaiden with passive sensors and ion torpedoes in the N1s. Take it or leave it. Do what you want to do. I still think Tarkin is a good value at 3, but think about those passive ion torpedo N1s, whether it's Danae or a Handmaiden.
Alrighty, so our final form here: Barriss Ophi with instinctive aim, concussion missiles, CLT. Ahsoka with compassion, C110P. Plo Koon with patience, Predator, R3 Astromech, Mag Pulse Warhead, and CLT. By the way, to note, these are the Delta 7s, not the 7Bs on those 3 Jedi. Then we have Contrail with Besh, Click with dedicated R3 Besh and ion bombs, and Will of Tarkin with ion missiles, R3 Astromech, delayed fuses, concussion bombs, and Besh with an option to swap out for a passive sensors ion missile carrying Naboo starfighter. Ion torpedo.
Big difference.
Starfighter. Sorry about that. Almost perfect. So close. All right. And last but certainly not the least, Will here is giving us our last list of the week.
Okay, let's take a look here. This one is coming from Stephen Parker from Dad Gaming, saying, shooting for some control with scenario play that can keep the squad alive, jamming munitions, having a little more staying power with Phasma, elusive. List off a couple things that we'll mention here, but it says he's a true scum player at heart. And I've talked a lot about what Gideon can do in a 4 or 5 ship first order list, but this one's got an interesting spin on it. So we're gonna start with Gideon because that's kind of the where I'm imagining a lot of the synergies are coming from. Gideon, has an ability. We're going to skip over that. The main thing I'm looking at is sensor buoys. Sensor buoys, 4 points. You place them out on the board. You hide them on obstacles. You put them next to objectives. And when people want to come get those objectives, well, you happen to get a lock on them. Now, the advantageous thing about them is that they do count as a device, as they are a remote, which means the the talent that the First Order can take, feedback ping, which we see here on Grudge, can trigger from the friendly device. So not only can Gideon get the target locks, but anybody with feedback ping can get the target locks from these buoys. So we're going to start there. I'm going to strip everything off for the time being. We'll come back to him and see if he needs anything else.
Who are we stripping off? Sorry.
Everything but buoys and Commander Pyre.
Got it.
We'll come back to that later, because that's the crutch of the. Well, Pyre's good. Take Pyre. If you got a cruise, if you bring in Psy Shuttle, you need Pyre. It's so good. So I'm gonna leave probably Grudge alone, because it's the cluster mines and laser bombs. I guess sure, cluster missiles. All that makes sense to me. Rerolling bombs and having feedback ping for a missile. That all makes sense. What we're going to change here, though, is we'll leave Captain Phasma pretty good as well for Special Forces, Fanatical, Fire Control System, and Ion Missiles. That means you're always going to get a 3-dice attack, and you could potentially have Evade Token, Fanatical Reroll, or Fanatical to modify your eyeballs, and Fire Control System to reroll dice. Such an efficient way to modify your dice on the SF. And you might be shooting twice with that Special Forces gunner. Nothing bad about that. We're going to leave that exactly how it is. What I want to work on is Backdraft. So, Dion, did you know that Backdraft can take feedback ping?
What? You're right.
It can. Not. Unless you put on the Foot, the First Order Ordnance Tech, a new gunner made for the bombers, but usable on the SF. So the First Order Ordnance Tech, the double O gets me there every time. Adds a reload to target lock. Very cool. I've been working on a Debrilium cells combination, but I think it only works on LaHue's. Don't care about that. Put the feedback on it, and then we're gonna need a missile to be reloading, and we're gonna scroll all the way down to proton rocket. So not only are you getting free locks, you can reload your proton rocket, and you have a 3-dice rear arc that's going to be your main weapon there. I think that's very interesting with the buoys. And then finally we got Whirlwind. And I'm going to go radical here. Let's get Whirlwind out of there. Don't like them in this build. What we're going to do instead is just click clone on the old bomber, and we're going to bring in Scorch. Scorch is the 4.1 with the highest initiative. I was going to say loadout, but that was not true. Highest initiative, the I4, which is going to work great for triggering Gideon's ability, things like that. Of course, we're going to put feedback ping on Scorch, and some bombs that reroll. We'll start with Bomblet Generator and a missile of choice here. Let's go Concussion. Can Dread take a Torp? But he can't take feedback ping, so not even an option. Let's go Clusters. This is going to be an aggressive ship, so let's go Clusters. And can I get 2 bombs with that? No, that's real sad, actually. How about 1 good bomb? Thermal detonators. There we go.
That'll do.
They reroll dice for Grudge's ability. There will be multiple of them out on the field for feedback ping. So yeah, I'm not going to put Special Forces Gunner and Foot. Can you do that? I wouldn't recommend it. Leave Phasma as she is. She needs to just be taking target locks. Don't worry about feedback ping with her. But this is an interesting way, I think, to utilize the Gideon Hask and the sensor buoys, but getting some extra options for your SFs, being able to throw in that first order ordnance tech. And as cool as Whirlwind is, I would rather just have another bomber in there who can get the rerolls. Oh, I never finished Gideon. Whatever else he had on there, them slicers and hexacodes, I guess.
Yeah, you can go for that.
I don't know. Is there another crew? If we don't take hexacodes, biohexacrypt codes. Gleb, not excited about. Hux, not great. You're already trying to coordinate.
What about Hondo? Range 3 coordinate? Self jam?
That is long range jamming, which I do like. Ooh, you know what we could do? Let's go. Targeting synchronizer. Everybody here has missiles, ion missiles, cluster missiles. Because Gideon has to engage first, he can grab the buoy lock and then actually help out his friends, even if for whatever reason they couldn't get the lock. So we'll go with that. We'll throw this freelance slicer back on there for fun.
All right, so we still got 4 points. Where did you want the other 4 points? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Buoys. You got the buoys? Or no, did you delete? Are you talking ships?
Oh, we got Gideon Hask still has 11 out of 15. Is that what I'm missing? I'm missing the buoys?
The buoys.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I accidentally turned it off. All right, there it is. Bam.
Nice.
All right, so our final form here, we got Captain Phasma with Fanatical Fire Control System, Ion Missiles, Special Forces Gunner. Backdraft with First Order Ordnance Tech, Feedback Ping Proton Rockets, mean out the front and the back there. Grudge with Feedback Ping, Cluster Missiles, Cluster Mines, Blazer Bomb, and Delayed Fusers. Scorch with Feedback Ping, Cluster Missiles, and Thermal Detonators, all supported by Gideon Hask in the Psi Shuttle with Sensor Buoy Suite, Target and Synchronizer, Freelance Slicer, and Commander Pyre. All right. So, with that, everybody, we are going to be signing off here, but, yes?
One question, because this just came up, I think either in chat or someone just asked it. It's because this deals with submitting things, and I know you were a stickler on that.
Yeah.
How are we submitting things that have new obstacles from the Pride of Mandalore pack?
So for obstacles, that actually is detailed in the event, the event form or the event information. We're just tracing it on the back, which is honestly the #1 reason why we're all, or one of the other reasons we are submitting paper as well. So we have a record of the obstacles and trace them on both sides. The easiest way. All right, so you make your own personal little puzzle on the back of your.
On both sides, like the front of your paper.
No,
and the back?
on both copies. On both copies.
Oh.
Both copies. Sorry, misspeak. Yeah. And before we go, we're gonna give away a T-shirt as suggested by Lambolo. He's like, hey, you want to give away something for people who stuck around the whole time? I gotcha. Here we go. Let's go ahead and do it. Very, very. Oh, you know what? We're on my. Oh, and Will, since for the stream here at Adepticon, we'll be using my desktop PC instead of the laptop. We'll be able to do the little ship battle. Ship battles for giveaways. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I haven't pulled that up here in a minute. Let me go ahead and do that. But you know what? How about this? Let's cut off the podcast, and nobody at home will know who won. We'll stop recording, but we'll continue to do the giveaway. You guys know. Don't leave, Twitch people.
The things you're missing out on, podcast people. Come join us on Mondays.
All right. Well, for the recording. Yes.
Sorry, one very last thing, because unfortunately I won't be able to make it to Adepticon, but I would like to send this message to everyone.
Yes.
This is brand new first big event rules. All right. I think people need to just keep in mind this is competitive, but also make it as fun as possible. Everyone's trying to make sure they're checking all their cards, trying to hit their triggers. There's a lot more stuff now that's out there that that you have to try and keep track of. Don't try not to be that guy that ends up being a rules lawyer stickler person that says, no, you can't do that thing because sure, there are missed opportunities and stuff, and that's the thing, and you call a judge, they'll probably err on the side of the rules and that, but look,
gauge
we're
your
not
opponent as well.
We're not here to ruin weekends. We're here, you guys will be there to hopefully have as much fun and enjoy competitive X-Wing as possible. Just be cool. All right, everyone.
All right, love it. So for everybody who's listening at home, but our streaming audience, stick around. We're gonna do a giveaway here. Thanks for watching. Be smart. Be safe. Thanks for listening too. We got a lot of stuff to do. We got so much stuff to do. Adepticon starts Thursday. See you there. Oh, by the way, I forgot. If you are in the Chicagoland area, Libo24, he's on our Discord. He said, hey, he offered. I was like, are you sure you want to offer this? He's like, yeah, let's go for it. If you're in the Chicagoland area or you are landing in the Chicagoland area at O'Hare, and you need a ride from O'Hare Airport to the convention center, he said free rides. I was like, okay. He's an Uber driver. I know he does that and Lyft. So he goes offer people free rides. It's my way to do my part. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, man, that's awesome. So if you want a free ride from the airport to Adepticon, hit him up on Discord.
Tip the driver, please.
I would suggest that as well. Alrighty. So if you want to enter into the giveaway, I forgot to turn off the thing. Well, for people at home, for people who are watching, type to be in the giveaway. For everybody at home, be smart, be safe. Gold Squadron out.